So, there's been a lot of complaining in the world about millennials and how sensitive and entitled and disgraceful they are as a generation, but I can speak with 100% certainty from my experiences on stage that the most entitled whiners who refuse to even listen to another's ideas are coming from a different group. And that group is the Fox News watching Baby Boo-Hoo-oomers. Seriously, they got no sense of humor. I miss my grandparents' generation. They survived the Great Depression. They won World War II. They turned America into the most powerful nation on earth. They went to the moon. They ended segregation. They pulled us out of Vietnam. They ran Nixon out of office. And now their kids, these baby boo-hoo-oomers, they're the new old people. And their entitled asses are destroying everything their parents built, all while they complain about how awful and entitled millennials are. Well, I guess it's hard to look in the mirror with cataracts. Now, collectively speaking, these baby boo-hoo-oomers are the worst generation since that one that agreed to count human beings as 3/5 of a person. Now, I'd give boomers an award for the second worst generation ever, but I know how much you hate those participation trophies. You deny science. You want to cancel every social program except the one that pays your bills and health care. Statistically, boomers never even give to charity, and they've left us $19 trillion in debt. The greatest generation would be ashamed of you. You took us from first to worst. The boomers have voted against gay rights and for air pollution. Sure, that generation before you was even more racist and homophobic. But you know what? At least they saved us from Hitler. The only thing y'all saved us from is universal health care. Well, that's not fair. We lived through Vietnam and the Civil Rights Movement, and we were the first generation to openly protest and speak out against government corruption. Well, sure, some of you. And I'm not saying you weren't good once back in the day, but now your generation overwhelmingly voted for Trump and you're wearing diapers and clogging up the landfills. Now, I know there's some who are upset that I'm calling out the boomer generation, even though what I'm saying isn't really about you personally, which might be why you're known as the me generation. A generation of selfishness and greed. The boomers have zero accomplishments in recent history. Zero! I mean, just since your knees went bad, you've given us the death of the middle class, selling the country to the highest bidder, urban sprawl, and price gouging in education. Sure, I messed up sprawl right there, but you know what I meant. You know what? Younger people might think it was much more funny how you're always calling them snowflakes if you weren't so massively responsible for global warming. Every ounce of progress young Americans have made in the last 10 to 15 years has been fought false tooth and acrylic nail by the boo-hoo-oomers. You know, it's just ironic as hell to the young that the generation who lived by the phrase, "Don't trust anyone over 30," and sang, "I hope I die before I get old," didn't die and now expects us to trust them and to pay for it all. Somebody give me some applesauce.
We don't have any applesauce. We ran out last week.